episode of our Zor Zoom series. We are Matt and Jennifer Lucas with the franchising company. Today we have Chip with Green Home Solutions joining us today. So Chip, if you don't mind, just briefly introduce yourself, give us that elevator pitch of what Green Home Solutions is all about.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. My name is Chip Baronowski. I'm the Director of Franchise Development here at Green Home Solutions. I've been in the franchise industry for over 25 years. As you can see, all the gray hairs. But, what Green Home Solutions does basically is we're an indoor air quality business. What we're doing is going out and helping people, whether it's in a business or in a home, uh, help them live better lives through cleaner air. And we do it through our 8 revenue streams. And our differentiator in the marketplace is all the products we use and all the services we do are all plant-based products, eco-friendly, that are safe for plants, people, and pets.
Like to hear that. So let's just dive right into the topic at hand. So you said 8 different services. Can you just kind of talk us through what those 8 look like?
Yeah, so the first one is indoor air quality testing. So what we would do is come out into your home, Matt and Jennifer, and we'd set up our equipment and we'd take readings throughout your home over a period of time. And we also take the outdoor air quality as well, and we compare those two. We gather all that data, send it out to our third party company that analyzes all the information and then sends back a detailed report. And then we would come back in and sit with the family and go through it. And if there are issues in the home, recommend some protocols to do it. Number 2 is mold assessment and removal. But what I want to tell people here is we're not a restoration company. We're not coming out in the middle of the night or on the weekends. Usually when we're coming into a home on mold assessment and removal, it's usually old stuff that they find through a construction project. Maybe a home inspector is coming in, or maybe somebody in the family is having some health issues. And through some blood work, they find out that there's something going on in their home related to mold that needs to be addressed. The other service lines are things like odor removal, air duct cleaning, encapsulations of crawl spaces. So people that don't have full basements but might have crawl spaces under their home, they need to be encapsulated from moisture. Otherwise, rot and mold can form underneath there. We have a probiotic air purification process where we can come in and spray probiotics into the air in a home or a business to provide cleaner air over 90 days. Hospital grade disinfection for both businesses at home. And what's really unique about our disinfectant product is it adheres to surfaces for over 90 days and fights off bacteria and viruses. And then lastly is...
Can you go to our kids' school? Will you go
Yes.
to our school?
Yeah, we would. We'd love to go to their school. That's actually a commercial customer we'd love to do to keep those viruses down, especially this time of year, right?
Yes.
And then the last service is really radon remediation for those areas of the country that have high radon levels, being able to go and assess it and put processes in place to remediate it.
Awesome. So you did touch on something. You're not a restoration company, which means not 24/7. This is a Monday through Friday business. So
yeah,
the work-life balance is it's very strong.
Yeah.
And then the other thing you sort of touched on was the customer or not the national accounts. We'll get to that, but just the commercial side of it. So schools, hospitals, but then wouldn't you like realtors, home inspectors to be as referrals? What are some other types of non-residential?
Yeah, so when it comes to referral sources, it's like you said, Jennifer, it's like real estate agents and home inspectors. We're doing a lot in the functional medicine world right now because, again, think about, allergists, homeopathic doctors, functional medicine people. They don't just treat the symptoms. They also want to treat the environment you're in. So we're working with them when they have a patient that might be coming in that might be having some issues. They might recommend them have an indoor air quality test, and we'll go out and test the air, provide that detailed report, and at least check off one of those boxes that maybe it's not their environment that they're living in. And then anybody in the construction industry. So whether it's contractors, plumbers, HVAC people that are in the homes dealing with a person and then find out, like a roofer's redoing a roof, tears off the main thing and finds mold in the attic that they didn't realize. So one of the key roles of a good owner in Green Home Solutions is getting out into that into the local community and educate people about what we do, because people don't think about indoor air quality every day.
Right.
Until they need,
If they ever do, until they need it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just amazing. And I use a personal story. So I bought one of these air purifiers for my home a while back. And when you plug it in and it lights up green, and the numbers on top are going like 1 to 5. And that means good air, right? And then all of a sudden I started noticing that all of a sudden it would ramp up and that green light would turn red. And the numbers were going into the 50s, 60s, and 160. And I'm going, what the heck is going on? And so I started observing what was going on in my house when that happened. And one of the things was, because we have an open concept, is my wife was in the kitchen cooking. And when she's cooking, it was creating bad air.
Oh, wow.
And on the EPA website, believe it or not, basically people's indoor air is usually 2 to 5 times more polluted than the outdoor air that we breathe, which was a surprise to me as I came on here at Green Home Solutions. And people don't realize that everything that we do day to day is creating bad air, but it might not affect us physically right away. But think about, the people that it might affect, your children that might have some asthma issues, or older adults that might have COPD. The indoor environment is creating, worsening what they're going through.
So what are some of those solutions that you guys provide to a homeowner with bad air quality?
Yeah. So again, depending on what's going on, the mold assessment and removal is getting that out of the home, right?
Yeah.
Which would affect them. We also work with the vendors that can actually, for people with immune deficiencies and stuff, we actually have relationships with companies where we can put on to an HVAC unit an air purification system, which basically cleans the air before it goes into the home. We also have heavy grade dehumidifiers for those areas that have basements. I grew up in the Midwest, and in the summer, your basement was the coolest place in the house, but it was also the dampest. And if you don't run a dehumidifier, you're going to get mold in the basement as well. And then the probiotic, air purification, as well as the disinfectant solution where we can disinfect the home. So those are some of the solutions based on the individual that might have more serious issues that need to be addressed.
Love it.
So how many employees and vehicles and equipment? Tell us a little bit about what is required.
Yes. So when the owner starts out, it's the owner and 2 technicians and 1 vehicle. So 1 vehicle and 2 technicians can generate up to $500,000 in revenue. So this is a very low employee-based model. And the employees you're hiring are not skilled workers. They're just, I was in fact talking to one of my owners this morning. They're just laborers from different industries. Some of his best workers have come out of the restaurant industry that just don't want to be cooped up in a restaurant all day long, but get out there and they're just very hardworking, that can be taught a simple skill. Okay. And then when you scale, when you fill that first truck up, you move on to the second. You add 2 more technicians and another truck, and you can keep scaling as large as you want to go.
So it sounds like a pretty simple model. What kind of marketing support do you offer your franchisees?
Lots. So again, there's four ways that our franchise owners are going to generate leads. One is their online presence. So when they come on board with us, our outside digital marketing company and our team gets their microsite set up. Does help set up SEO, basically pay-per-click advertising, as well as their customer reviews, all those things to get the website up and running. And then our marketing department meets with them on a monthly basis to review the results on their online. And if there tweaks need to be done, we're making recommendations for the owner. The second is lead aggregators. So there are a lot of companies out there to generate businesses for the home service industry, guys. I know you work with a lot of other home service companies, but again, things like Angie's List and Thumbtack. The third is direct mail. Again, direct mail still works. So as part of their launch into their business, they're going to send out a direct mail campaign with offers introducing their new business. And then the fourth is the ground game. They have to get out and educate people in the public about what we do. And so that's like joining chambers and B&I groups. One of my owners last year in 2023 got $290,000 worth of business out of her B&I group alone. So it's educating people about what we do and building those relationships with those referral sources that will funnel leads to them. And then we also have a call center they can utilize as well.
Yeah, and so talk to us a little bit about, okay, what does the overall investment look like? And then what kind of size territory does an owner get?
Yeah, so total investment, this includes the initial franchise fee, equipment package, and working capital is $170,000.
Right.
So 55 of it is the franchise fee. We do have a first responder discount and a veterans discount of 20% off the franchise fee. So that's 11 grand. The equipment package and product package does not include a vehicle. We don't want them going out like some companies and buy a brand new vehicle and spend 80 to $100,000 on it. We would rather have them lease a late model one with low mileage. And then $70,000 in working capital for the first 3 to 6 months. So the majority, the 20,000 of it is for their grand opening marketing budget for the first 6 months, which we basically control and do for them. They don't have to worry about that. We're going out there and making sure their pay-per-click ads are going, their lead generation is going, and they don't need to worry about that for the first 6 months. We want them focusing on talking with customers and going out and doing the business. Okay. And then territories are 200,000 in population. And again, guys, we have 196 franchise territories out there, but we're only in 29 states. I mean, we have one owner in the whole state of Texas. And you guys know that Texas is a very entrepreneurial market. Florida, we have no franchise owners. So there are a whole bunch of areas that are still untapped with regards to green home solutions.
Going back to the investment, there's it's home based, right? I didn't see a line item.
Yeah, home based. So they're keeping their overheads low. They don't need. The only exception is if you live. I deal with. I'm talking to some people like in California that might be in an HOA, or they might be in an apartment somewhere. At that point, you just go to a small storage facility and rent a 10 by 10. And usually, most storage facilities you can park your vehicle there for a small price as well.
So the equipment is small enough to fit into a normal size car, and you don't need a big warehouse.
Well, no, you don't need a big warehouse, and the van can store all the equipment that you utilize when you start out.
Gotcha. Okay.
What's the do you have, for your average franchise owner, is there an avatar that you're looking for, specific characteristics, for an owner?
Well, somebody that wants to be part of their community and make a difference, right? They desire it, right? They just don't want to get into business to get into business, but they really want to make an impact in their community. And I have story after story of our franchise owners that, they're helping people, and, the customers thanking them so much for us coming in and dealing with the issue, and they're breathing better air and feeling better. They find that eco-friendly businesses are very appealing to them. They want to get involved in the business. They want to be part of it. All right. They don't mind managing a small blue collar labor force. We want them to understand how to do it, but we don't want them working in the business. I don't want them to be chucking a truck and on the truck every day. I want them to grow the business, but I want them to understand how to do the business as well. So somebody that, we have owners that have come out of B2B sales, real estate. We have engineers, people out of the medical community that have gotten into this business. It just somebody that wants to just grow a nice business, but also have a lifestyle, be home every night.
Yeah.
And do you allow for semi-active owners from the start, or are you looking for?
We're looking for full-time owners in the beginning, unless they have a general manager that has some equity in the business that, is not going to walk away after a week of working for them. We can do that, but a lot of our owners in 2 to 3 years, if they've done it right, they can step back from the business. I have several owners that actually own additional businesses on top of what they're already doing with Green Home Solutions.
Very cool. So I think we covered a lot of these. The support, definitely strong. You guys are definitely unique. We talked about the investment. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you want to tell us about? I feel like this went very fast. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
So what I will tell you in regards to our support structure, we have a 2-tiered support structure. We have our corporate staff, and then we have 5 area representatives that are successful franchise owners that have taken on the additional role in supporting our franchisees. So when an owner comes on board, there's 3 weeks of training. Okay, we can have them up and running typically in about 90 days after signing. Okay. So the first week is online education and certifications. The second week is they're going to Connecticut and they're working with our team and learning about the science behind everything that we do. So they're learning about our products and how they work. They learn more about mold and microtoxins and all the stuff that we're dealing with in the home. And then the third week is actually in their area representatives territory, working alongside their AR, learning the business, learning how to do indoor air quality testing, learning how to do an assessment. And so they get some physically hands-on training. And then when they get back into their market, in addition to our team supporting them, they're also utilizing their ARs. And all our ARs have weekly phone calls with all their franchise owners to kind of go over what's going on in the company. Maybe we have a new marketing program or a national account that we started, and then they kind of open it up to the group and say, "Hey, Matt, how's it going in Philly? Any success stories? Any areas you need help with?" And then you have the collaboration of all these other owners plus the AR that's running a successful business that can work together to help them.
So I knew I was forgetting something. Tell us about the national accounts.
So we're just starting because again, we're only in 29 states. And as you guys know, being in franchising, you have to have a lot of, franchises all over the country to be able to handle it. But we just signed a relationship with a company that is in the functional medicine world. And what they do is they work with the elderly in their home. And when one of their elderly patients calls in with some health issues, we're the number one phone call to go out and do an indoor air quality test and then come back. And if we find something that's there, is to remediate it and get it fixed for those individuals. So we just signed that. We're excited. We just launched that relationship in September for our franchise owners. So they're excited as well.
That is exciting, and I'm assuming that'll be the first of many more to come.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about competition. Who would be your competitor as a Green Home Solution franchise owner?
Yeah, so we have no direct competitors doing everything that we're doing, but more importantly, using eco-friendly products. Again, so typically the competitors is you have some mold companies out there that just do mold remediation. In fact, we actually get some referrals from some restoration companies that don't want to deal with the mold side. They just want to deal with the insurance work. Also, you have your air duct cleaning companies out there that do that, encapsulation companies as well, but they're just doing one or two of the items, but they're not doing all our services. But more importantly, have that eco-friendly proprietary. The products that we have are ours. We don't sell them at Home Depot or Walmart, and we will never do that. They're specifically for our franchise owners and their businesses.
And so talking about just going back to like the encapsulation and stuff, do you the installation of that type of situation, do you farm that out or do you guys do it internally?
We can do it internally. If our franchise owner doesn't want to do it, it might be building a relationship with an encapsulation company to do it. But most of our owners, again, there's not encapsulation opportunities in every part of the country. It's just in certain, like the Carolinas are big. I mean, we have an owner in Asheville that probably close to half of his business is just doing encapsulations on top of the other stuff that he does as well.
Sure. Okay.
Well, we love success stories. What can you share one of your favorite success stories with your franchisees?
Well, there's so many, but I'll talk about our owners in Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia. They're two brothers that actually came out of the wireless world with Verizon, and they've been with us 9 years now. And over the 9 years, they've grown a successful business in Green Home Solutions. They started out as kind of owner operators running the business and then started adding people. And they will attest a couple things. One is Green Home Solutions helped them afford to invest in two other businesses on top of what they're already doing. And one of them is a passion they enjoy. They opened a distillery. They make their own bourbon and whiskey now, which was one of their passions. But Green Home Solutions was able to help them do that with the profits of their business, but also the impact that they're making in their local community with their customers. And not just going out there and providing the service, but providing solutions for their customers, and not just going out there and just doing the work. In fact, I was talking to that owner this morning and I was asking him how business is going. He goes, "Chip, it's amazing. before the election occurred. He goes, we were booked out about a week out, which is pretty good for us. I mean, but once the election was over, I mean, we're out over 25 days now.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we have customers that we talked to 6 months ago that weren't ready to do something, and now they're calling up and wanting to get on our schedule to be able to do it because they have the money to go in and do the work that needed to be done when it needed to be done.
No, I love hearing that, because that's something that we talk to our candidates about all the time, is building that foundational business to then, go on and grow, scale to multi businesses, multi territories, really grow that empire for yourself, for your family, create that generational wealth, that financial freedom and work-life balance. And so I'm glad you hit on that, because there are businesses out there that are better than others to kind of build and create that foundation from. A business like this, there's so many different ways you can take it. Once you get this established, there's a lot of different spider webs you can, not necessarily a distillery, but hey, it worked in this case. But there's a lot of different ways you can spin off of this and utilize the same customer base that you've already created. That relationship, that trust you built, can be leveraged to do so many other things off of this. So I think that was a really key thing that you hit on. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, and the distillery, what they created with is they actually do tours and events, and they have the chamber there, so they're able to talk up their other businesses in addition to the distillery they have. So it gets more, it gets more exposure out there when they're dealing with the community, and that's why this community, what I call the ground game, is so important in our business. Because again, when you're selling mini blinds, everybody can see a mini blind, right? But when it comes to indoor air quality, they don't know how it affects people's lives until they're educated about it. And so my wife's having some health issues personally, and so I'm having my franchise owner come in and do an indoor air quality test so we can check the box in my home that what's going on in my home is not affecting my wife right now and her sleep habits and some other things that are going on with her right now. But I would have known that initially if it wasn't for being part of this company and working with our franchise owners.
Yeah. I mean, I think to your point, community and education is key, and really getting the word out about what you guys do and the benefits. And I think it does lend itself well to somebody that's more community driven, which, obviously with what we do and the vast, the variety of different types of, candidates we work with, there are a lot of folks that are very community driven. It's not just about making a dollar. They want to make a difference. And so something Brandon Home Solutions would be a great fit for someone like that. And so if you are here and listening to our conversation here today and you are interested in making a difference, send me a text at 270-215-2844. I'll get with Chip. We'll make sure your territory is available and talk through some next steps.
And we try to interview a new franchise each week. So be sure to follow us, like and share, all of those things.
Absolutely.
And these guys, just personally, because I've worked with Matt and Jennifer in the past, guys, if you are serious about investigating business ownership as an alternative to employment, these guys are amazing in walking you through this whole process to make sure it's a fit or not. And sometimes it's not, right, Jennifer and Matt? And they discover based on the process that you take them through that it might not be a fit right now, but maybe later. But it's great to have two people like this behind you, guiding you through this process instead of you trying to navigate it on your own.
No, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Chip. We appreciate that. Love to help. So just let us know what we can do. And Chip, thanks again. Hopefully we'll be sending several more candidates to you here soon.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate the time as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.